in the bottom right position, we've got the blue Protoss player from Team My Insanity, currently 1-0 up, ABomB. And his opponent spawning in the bottom left, so they're both on the bottom of this map, the red Zerg from FM Esports, RMP.
All right, guys. So, Whirlwind, pretty big map. Not really the kind of thing where we're used to expecting very, very short games. We should be seeing pretty standard macro play come out of both of these guys, especially that after that game we just saw on Daybreak. So, not really expecting anything out of the ordinary very soon, Metals.
No, it should be relatively standard. There is already a variation in ABomb's build because he's getting that pylon up in his main base. A little bit safer just in case RMP was going for something super aggressive early on. There is quite a wide ramp on Whirlwind as well that you do need to be slightly cautious about. Meanwhile, RMP, do you reckon he'll go pool first, or do you reckon he'll once more go for that hatchery first opening?
I think he'll definitely go for the hatchery first. I am not certain he would go for a third hatch before putting his pool down again. That didn't seem to bode very well for him in the end in game number 1. But I am expecting a never mind. I'm gonna eat my words now.
He's gone for that spawning. But having said that, okay. ABomB is going for a gateway expand, so really mixing up the kind of strategy he's going for, and I think that's actually quite a nice way to go, because if you won the first game in what was a bit of a funky game, maybe just try out some other strategies, because after all, it is a best of 5. You're a game up already, so you've got a nice little bit of a buffer. Maybe try and work out if there is a more efficient way that you can win this series and take home the money.
Well, that's certainly one way to put it. Just a more efficient way to go and take home the money there. It's definitely possible. We'll see if there are any particular strategies that these players have planned. I just don't get the impression that's the case here. ABomB, only one worker in each gas at the moment, so he's going to really try and power out. To me, this is indicative of him getting his Nexus very soon indeed. Meanwhile, RMP, he's only now just going to be sending an Overlord from his main base to the bottom right. So it's actually going to take him quite some time before he confirms ABomB hasn't spawned in cross positions here.
And that lack of cross spawns, it just means that it won't be quite as much of a macro game as we would have seen. If you get cross spawns on Whirlwind, you're going to be seeing 3 bases before probably those two will even meet. But currently, we just see that ABomB getting his Mothership core out, getting that natural Nexus up, playing a defensive 1-gate expand as opposed to trying to push across, and not actually building anything else. After getting that Zealot, he hasn't got enough gas yet to start the sentry, and therefore just pumping and prioritizing out the Mothership core first.
Yep, and that's a pretty good decision. You want to be able to get the energy up on the Mothership core very, very early on in the game, so that you'll have 100 available at the earliest opportunity to put down your lovely planetary Nexus, Nexus Cannon, whatever you guys feel like calling it. Everyone seems to have something different. But having that out on the field nice and early, very, very important for Protoss play. And notice how this Mothership core isn't aggressively scouting towards RMP's base either. He's keeping it at his ramp. He knows he needs it nearby just in case some early game aggression comes in. And that Stegosaurus Zergling, of course, not getting Zergling speed up yet, so it looks like a cute little dinosaur, is going to be able to hop, skip, and jump away.
I think you made a great point there, Joyce. Keeping that Mothership core back is just such a smart decision, especially when he only made the single Zealot, and the Sentry is only just added into that. There was no wall off. You've got to make sure that you've got the option for the Nexus Cannon, because otherwise a small flood of Zerglings can absolutely ruin your day. But having said that, RMP, he's just keeping a nice couple of Zerglings around to make sure no hidden expansions go down. He's getting up his first evolution chamber, and Zergling speed is about to kick in. Having said that, though, ABomB, 3 additional gateways takes him up to 4 gates. With the +1, you can certainly have a bit of fun with a 2-base 4-gate pressure.
That's right, and he's gonna, as long as he continues chrono boosting out the +1 on his forge, he's actually gonna have +1 complete at around the 8-minute 30-second mark. The 7-minute 30-second mark even of this game. If he can just about, no, 8:30. I was correct the first time. I'm muddling things up. But if he gets that out, he could possibly hit a bit of a timing against his natural expansion here. Notice that there are no spine crawlers out on the field at the moment. We're getting a second evolution chamber down right now for RMP, and he's still busy droning up.
There will also be that nice little window where, of course, the Zealots will have +1, where it's RMP won't have the +1 carapace. But if he can hit in that window, it would be very effective, especially if a Roach Warren doesn't come down shortly. And ABomB could very well be trying to go for that. But at the moment, RMP, he's getting a significant number of speedlings out.
Yeah, that is quite a large number. And note also that ABomB doesn't actually possess a forward pylon out in the middle of the map just yet either. So he hasn't been able to get a probe towards RMP's base. 2 of them have actually died already in this particular game. So that's really going to hamper things.
It will hamper things because no proxy pylon, no warpins, never any fun. The third base coming down though for RMP, and he's also getting his lair up and +1 melee attack. So this is going to be probably a Mutalist style build. Oh, look at this, the Zerglings!
Great force fields on one half of them. Those 2 zealots are going to be able to get as much damage done as possible, but on the other half, all of the sentries go down. And while on the left-hand side of the battle, I would say it was cost-effective as far as the zealots were concerned, the rest of those sentries going down there really hurt ABomB just now, and he's going to send a few more zealots out across the map, but I'm not even sure he can attack with these anymore without any force fields to support.
Yeah, without those force fields, even if he sends all 5 of those zealots, he doesn't have a proxy pylon placed yet for the close warpins, and obviously RMP should be ecstatically happy about that engagement. Knocking out those sentries meant that effectively he's taken 0 damage.
Yeah, and that was just a really solid engagement from RMP, and unfortunately ABomB unable to react in time. If he had his units a little bit more clumped up, he may have been able, at the expense of sentry energy, to maybe force field a little bit better and try and kill off more of those links with fewer of those sentries dead, but he wasn't able to do that on that occasion. RMP must be feeling pretty confident right about now. He has more and more lings on the way, and the infestation pit now as well is finishing up.
Now, this infestation pit has thrown me off a little bit, Josal, because I was really thinking RMP was going to go into some heavy speedling play, straight in towards Mutalisks, and then a tech switch into Ultras. But it seems that that is not what he's planning on doing, and is instead just going to be going... Well, I just don't know what he's going to be going for now, to be honest.
This is very interesting. I wonder if RMP intends on going for some sort of Swarm House base play. We'll find out. A couple of lings there trying to get a run by into an actual failing to do so. There are a decent number of lings there now. The third base has forced the Planetary Nexus to go down, so that first on overcharge will be able to drive out those lings. Zealots very slow in responding though. The current supplies are 73 to 78 in favor of ABomB, as RMP now picking off a couple of probes.
He is going to get a couple of probes there, and, well, RMP, he's getting a rush up to Hive, so he's just going to be going for those exceptionally quick Ultras, and look at the tech path being taken by ABomB. He is favouring going for those High Templar, and therefore Archons, rather than the Robotics Facility. That means there won't be any Immortals, and actually those Ultras are going to be incredibly effective.
That's right. Immortals, of course, do pretty well against Ultras. Let's see for sure in a moment if RMP is going for this fast Ultra build, but with the 2-2 on the way, melee and armor as well, I think you might be right there, Maddles. Charge now halfway done for ABomB, and RMP doing a great job of preventing ABomB from ever sort of moving out in the middle of the map to scout things out, because he is non-stop coming in here with lings, picking off probes here and there, and just outmaneuvering those zealots on ABomb's half of the map.
And the second you start outmaneuvering those zealots and you start running and you keep the aggression, you keep your opponent pinned back, and that is giving RMP the time he needs in order to get out that Hive, which has just finished. The quick Ultralisk Cavern should be hitting the field any minute now, and there we go, it is queued up, and this could potentially catch ABomB off guard slightly.
Fourth base also simultaneously coming down from RMP. He has his creep spread to about the middle of the map now. I wouldn't say exceptional considering it's a 13-minute mark, but definitely enough to give him plenty of advance notice of ABomB when he decides to move out. He's now popping out with a couple of Archons leading some Zealots, and he's actually going to come in RMP, try and surround a whole bunch of Speedlings here, but there are no force fields to bait out, so he's just going to be going for a counterattack at this moment.
And I don't have a problem with that, to be honest. Do you?
Well, he didn't actually get into the third. Now he's going to be playing catch-up against the army, which is on the creep. So he does need to be slightly careful. At the end of the day, Zerglings do not fare very well against Archons and Zealots, Maddles. So while RMP might be able to get a decent position, he needs to do something about this army, and he doesn't have the Roach Warren, so he's only got Lings to defend this with until the Ultras are on the field.
And he's got to just buy himself some time. That is the important thing. The 5 Ultralisks are in production. The first ones will be hitting in a little while, but these spine crawlers getting annihilated, and the mothership core is there. It does not have enough energy for a mass recall, but RMP is not looking to be in a comfortable position here.
No, he played this, to be honest, he played this quite greedily here, skipping the Roach War and desperately trying to get those Ultras out. ASAP, they're going to be popping out right about now. He's going to be heading in with a lot of these Speedlings as well. Where are the Ultras? Oh dear, some of them are at the third base. They're going to be trickling in one by one. That is not a good position for him to be in. He's now down to 103 supply versus 157.
These Zealots just surrounding straight away. Mass warpins coming from ABomB, and there's the GG from RMP. ABomB taking this with a lovely little timing window, and therefore going 2-0 up in this best of 5, putting RMP on match point here on